Hi, Oren. This is Rabbi Light, and your mom told me that you were interested in learning the trope for this, and I think that's a really interesting idea. Although part of me says first learn Torah trope in fourth grade, and then we can look at the Megillah trope. Because you're absolutely right. Once you know trope, it makes it so much easier because you don't have to memorize anything. You can put the words with the trope. So what I want to do actually is I want to just show you kind of the difference, first of all, between if this was normal Torah, and then we'll look at what the trope is for Megillah. Again, I think this might be confusing, and in the end, you might find that you're going to have to memorize. But I promise you that if Torah reading is something that you want to do in the future, and Megillah reading is something you want to do more of, we'll make sure that we learn the trope. So I just want to show you the difference. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to read this as if it's so. First of all, your brother actually knows what these trope names are, and there's a trope there, there's a trope there, there's a trope there, there's a trope there, there's one there, there's one there, there's two there, although we only do one of them. There's one here, and so I'm going to go through them right now. And again, your brother can tell you if I'm doing it right. So we start. So I'm good. Imagining for a second, this is not Megillah reading. Let's just imagine this is Torah. Okay. So it goes like this. Mapach pashta munach zakef katon tipcha et nachta pashta munach zakef katon munach zakef katon Yetiv. This is one that your brother doesn't know. Yetiv. Maybe he does. Yetiv. Munach zakef katon mercha tipcha mercha sof pasuk. Now, just as an aside, there's another trope that we often do on Shabbat. We don't just read Torah; we also read Haftorah, which is from something from the prophets that in some way kind of remind us a little bit about the Torah reading. And it probably came about when Torah reading wasn't allowed and people wanted to have something to remind them what the normal Torah reading does. That has another trope tune. It uses the same markings, but it has another way that the song is sung. So I'm going to sing that for you as if this was Haf Torah, and your brother and you will both, and your sister will both be you doing this at your bar and bat mitzvah, because often we read from the Torah and we also read Haf Torah. Haftorah is a little bit easier because you don't read it from a book that has no markings, and you don't read it from a book that doesn't show any of the vowel sounds. So it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier. So I'm going to pretend like this is Haftorah for a second, and we'll try that. So here's how the trope goes. Mapach pashta munach zakef katon tipcha et nachta pashta munach zakef katon munach zakef katon yitiv munach zakef katon mercha tipcha mercha sof pasuk. So that's Haftorah. So now we just did Torah trope, Haftorah trope, and now we're going to Megillat Esther trope. Let's see if I can remember it now, because it's sometimes a little confusing if you have to go back and forth from one to another. So here's how Megillat Esther, and you'll see actually Megillat Esther, in my opinion, is not the prettiest of trope. It's as if almost someone is a messenger, hurrying, almost with out of breath, telling everyone this story before Haman's evil decree comes through. So here's how it goes. Mapach pashta munach zakef katon tipcha et nachta pashta munach zakef katon yetiv munach zakef katon mercha tipcha mercha sof pasuk. You see, I did actually Munach Zakef Katon in two different ways. Munach Zakef Katon or Munach Zakef Katon. I think there are two traditions out there for that, so I forget which one I put on your tape. Let's try it one more time. Mapach pashta, munach zakef gato. I think I did that one. Mapach pashta, munach zakef gaton. Tipcha, sof pasuk, pashta, munach zakef gaton. Munach zakef gaton. Yetiv, munach zakef gaton. Mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk. So the great thing about knowing trope, you're right, and your intuition is correct, that if you know it, you can do a lot more, because all you need to do is go, oh, this is mapach pashta, vayikach haman. Vayikach haman, munach zakef gaton. Et halavush v'et hasus, tipcha et nachta, vayalbesh et Mordechai. Vayalbesh et Mordechai, pashta, vayarkivehu, munach zakef gaton, birchov ha'ir. Birchov ha'ir, or birchov ha'ir, munach zakef gaton, vayikra lefanav, yetiv, kacha, kacha, munach zakef gaton, ye'aseh la'ish, mercha tipcha, mercha sof pasuk, asher hamelech chafetz b'karo. Asher hamelech chafetz b'karo. And then we can kind of slowly put it all together. Vayikach Haman et halavush v'et hasus, vayobesh et Mordechai, vayarkivehu birchov ha'ir, vayikra lefanav. And then either, because this is a proclamation, sometimes I kind of go like this for this, right? Kacha yesel ish asher hamelech chafetz bikaro, almost as if I'm shouting out, this is what the king wants to do. This is what needs to be done for the person who king wants to honor. But if you want to do it with the trope, Kacha yesel ish asher hamelech chafetz bikaro, and one more time all the way through. Vayikach Haman et halavush v'et hasus, vayobesh et Mordechai, vayarkivehu birchov ha'ir, vayikra lefanav. Kacha yaseh la'ish asher hamelech chafetz bikaro. So I hope this helps you in learning it, but you might find that I've confused you horribly. And if that's the case, just revert to the other recording and do some memorization, and we'll see you next year after you have learned your Torah trope, and then we'll come back and really learn this well. Thanks so much for asking and being curious, Oren.